There's a little spitting match going on between a couple of big names in the NBA.
I saw this last night.
Charles Barkley
live,
and Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey did not like some things that Charles Barkley said on national television about his team, the Rockets, not being good defensively, even though the analytics show that the Rockets are a good defensive team. Here's what Daryl Morey said on Twitter. Twitter is so damn dangerous. Here's what he said about Charles Barkley. Best part of being at a TNT game live is it's easy to avoid Charles spewing misinformed, biased vitriol disguised as entertainment.
Not bad, right? Not bad.
Doesn't that feel like more than 140 characters?
Yeah.
A lot of big words there. Misinformed, vitriol, entertainment.
Seriously.
All right, so Daryl Morey does not like some of the things Charles Barkley is saying about his team. Barkley came back, and you watched it live.
I watched it live. I went nuts.
Give us a summation. Give us a capsule of what Barkley basically said about Daryl Morey.
Basketball analytics, the equivalent to sabermetrics in baseball, basically is a new way of looking at the game. It's these in-depth stats, and I use them a lot, or used them a lot when I covered the Nuggets, as a way to properly put success or failure into context. But because it sounds nerdy, because it's sometimes complicated, and because people say, and Charles Barkley said this last night, it's the dudes that didn't play in the NBA and couldn't get dates in high school, so all they do is do math and figure out ways to sneak into the NBA in the back door in the front office. He says, Charles Barkley basically poo-pooed the whole idea that analytics matter, even though, and his point was, good players win the championship. If you got LeBron, you got Dwayne Wade and Bosh, you're going to win the championship. And clearly, that's a good point, Charles. But how about this? The 2011 champion Dallas Mavericks point to analytics as key reasons why they figure out the way to beat the aforementioned Miami Heat. Of course, they had Dirk playing at a high level. But I was reading an article before our show today, Les, talking about the way they implemented J.J. Barea at the point guard. And I could talk about some of the other inside basketball things, but the point is that they had an analytics guy on their bench. He's got a championship ring. So clearly analytics matter to the extent of they won a championship because of them. And for Charles Barkley, who comes off normally as a pretty smart guy, to just sit here and say, oh, it doesn't matter, it's just numbers and dorks. Like, I think Charles looks like the dork.
You know, there's room for both. I don't think there's any question there. And we lived through this with we've been living through it with baseball for the last 30 years. I mean, the book Moneyball and the movie Moneyball were about this very thing.
Yep.
The balance between the eyeball test, recognizing talent with your eyes, scouting, etc., and the analytics, and how much stock you put in analytics. Look, let's take the Nuggets, for example, okay? I think we have all found out that through analytics, you try not to put J.J. Hickson and Kenneth Faried on the court at the same time.
Yet, what does Coach Brian Shaw do?
Right, they just don't play well together. The numbers show that when they're on the court together, things don't mesh very well.
Right. Notably defensively.
The numbers are more on the negative side than the positive side. Yet, there are some general managers, new wave general managers, who rely so much on the computer that they take the humanity, the emotion, and in many ways the skill set out of their equation, out of their scouting. And I think you're hurting yourself. There's got to be a combination of the two.